one of the biggest realization is that now I'm able to consciously create and manifest the things I want. I'm no more a reckless creator, managing great relationship with my fellow beings at office or having a better social balance, teaching meditation everywhere within our corporate world. So this has been my way of living.
Meditation has helped me becoming a better version of myself. I can see a lot of transformation and healing. I feel much more happier and contented since I've started moving into state of being.
And then in one of my companies, we were building very critical storage systems. And I remember one particular incident where we had a hospital which had the system down and they needed to get it back in a hurry. And it wasn't directly related to a problem in our software, but nevertheless, we are the vendor, we were responsible for it. And at that point, I had been meditating and I could feel a sense of calmness and clarity in how we worked through that escalation. The team was there, it was late night, and left to itself, it would have, possibly resulted in chaos and a haphazard way of responding. But I was able to get clarity of how to be very focused, keeping the intensity at the same time focused and deliberate in getting us towards a good resolution. And I clearly think that sense of calmness in those crucible moments of pressure, I attribute it to my meditation practice.
One second. Happy morning, dear friends and masters. Great afternoon, evening. Happy Diwali days. I can join yesterday. Doing many things at Arunachalam, the place of the great master Ramana Maharshi. It's called Tiruvannamalai. Ramana Maharshi even after now 75 years of his departure, he remained the greatest mystic in the hearts of millions of people. So many people come there into this town. It's a great sight to see because you go into these so many ashrams and so much of activity, all want to go inside. Unlike typical places you go for a lot of ritual activity, here many people are doing meditations, many. Wherever you go, you see people sitting down and meditating. I have not seen any place that they sit down for meditation that I've seen here at Tiruvannamalai. Perhaps I've not seen that even in Rishikesh. I've seen it here. Wherever you see, they sit down and they're meditating. Longer periods. Ramana Maharshi his core of the teaching is to remove, we have two eyes. individual I and then the greater I. I meaning not EI, I as an I, me. There are two I's, I always said there is an individual I which is defined and characterized by ego, and there is this greater I, the self, which is referred to the consciousness, something that exists deep inside, which is aware of you. We said you remove this individual, the first I, which is the ego representation. Then, because this first I, he said, is illusionary, you remove that by asking simply questions, who am I? So this is more of a contemplative practice of what he recommended most, while he also okayed many other practices, including meditation. Who am I is a fundamental question he asked people to ask themselves. There is a thought coming, he wanted you to go to the source of the thought. Where is it coming from? A thought comes and you look into it and say, where is it coming from? What's there behind it? Again, go behind, go behind, go behind. And he said, ultimately, when you go behind and behind, you're getting into this thing called this big I, which is the representing everything and everybody, which is representing this consciousness, intelligence. Because you cannot associate beyond a point that thing that is coming, your individual I, the ego self. Now, if it is associated with the ego self, because you are the one who have defined yourself to be this CEO or this musician, and is asking you to drop that is illusionary. He asks you to go beyond. Why is it coming from? Where is it coming from? So the practice of contemplation is there. But he also said that it's only for a few people. In the sense, you need to be highly aware and observant to be able to go into this process of asking question after question after question. But many cannot. Then other practice that others have brought up to him, like meditation, he said, yes, those are all great practices to do. And so many do this contemplative practice, but what I've seen is most of them are doing meditations there. People like us going there, meditation. Like many mystics, he lived in a cave for years and years. Like many mystics, his very, very early years, he went out of home to understand himself, because he had a near-death experience very early in his age, below 16, where he felt there is a force that's operating from inside. Some force that is operating, and he calls that force that he is aware of. He was aware of that force throughout his life thereafter. There's a force, what we call the consciousness, is operating and always making him do action. He is that sensitive to that, aware that force that is there, which is operating through him. When that event occurred, that triggered to him to see what's going on, what this near-death experience that he felt is happening, but then suddenly that translated into observing this force, and that force is remaining with him. So he wanted to, that's when he recognized that there is this big I, which is this consciousness, fundamental force inside, which is operating. That could not be defined. So he investigated, he came up with this contemplative practice of asking questions, and the thought comes, where is this coming from? What is the source of it? The source of it, source of it. So now, many are there in his ashram. Easterns, Westerns, they're all there, beautifully meditating. And meditation halls are busy, they're full. I've not seen any place they're so busy and so full all the time. So welcome, dear friends, for this Oneness program, third week. You know, we must take time to go into these places of these masters because they're inspiration. If you go to, let's say, an exhibition, right? Or you go into a place like, some NASA's exhibition, NASA headquarters. Or you go to, Hershey's chocolate headquarters. There is a place of exhibition there where you go and see how the chocolates are made. What do you get? We are in awe. Say, wow, this is how stuff works. We're inspired to see something like that. We go to conferences, we're inspired to learn many new things, the unknown things. Our fundamental nature is to know more, to know new. Then we feel happy. We are inspired. Inspired means then we have little more will to do things. That's what inspiration does. Whenever we are inspired, we are pumping up our willpower a little bit. We're giving a booster. We're given a boost to do little more than what we do. Inspiration sort of is directly opposite to laziness or procrastination. The same way, when we go into these places, we are inspired of the work because you see, our consciousness expands more when we travel, when we meet new people. I've said this before. When we travel to new places, new people, new things, our consciousness expands. That means our knowledge expands, our understanding expands, and so that our experiences expand, which means the existence is expanding through us. That's its nature. That's what it wants, not contract itself. That reminds me, also met a master called Andrew Coheed, who is there. He's a good friend of us with Patriji. Evolutionary enlightenment. That's what he calls. We'll talk about that another day. Hopefully we can invite him for this program before it ends and give a talk. When we go there to new places like this, and then spiritual masters, if you want to progress in spirituality, then of course we want to do this. To go into these places of masters, place of energy, to get inspired more. And of course, we intensify practice more in that area. That's why I do take time all the time to go somewhere or the other. It's possible. We just have to put our attention on it. How much to learn? There's a never ending. There's no dearth of learning. So there is so much to learn. So we continue to ever do it all the time. From everybody we learn. So this week, dear friends, is a very, very important week for us. Manifestation. Meeting new people, new places, increase our opportunity to manifest. Possibilities, more possibilities come true because our synchronicities, our messages are coming from many things, including these places and people. Our synchronicities, our messages can happen a lot more many times when you go from place to place like this. Now, talking about manifestation is creating, with it, drawing an experience into a life. The word manifest, we're using to draw experiences the way we are looking to have, creating our future, realizing our goal or dream, calling it manifest. from energy to physicality, an experience comes into the effect into a physical life called manifestation. That's everybody living life for something or the other to manifest, to draw an experience of some kind. Some want more, some say, enough of it, I want something else. I don't need any of these objects anymore. I don't need any material experience anymore, but I need more spiritual experiences. Ultimately, we all want something. Manifestation is saying that you can draw these experiences that you're wishing to have by simply putting your attention on it. Simply by putting your attention. So having your intention of what you look to have, your intention means that your attention towards something. I wish to experience this golden lights engulfing me and the entire universe. I will experience the state like that. I wish to read Bhagavad Gita and then absolutely be able to know and then talk about it and then disseminate that knowledge to everybody, all my friend circle. I wish to spread this knowledge of meditation to an entire community in my village or in my area where I'm living, in Abu Dhabi. They're all our intentions. They're all our things that we would like to experience. Manifestation must be seen as experiences, not as things and people, experience of life. If we can differentiate these two, that I am not looking for a car or a person, there's a partner, or I am, want to go to see Egypt as a place. Instead, you change that to what experience you want to have with those. If you move your attention from people, places, or things into experiences, then you seem to get that, you seem to create it pretty easily, because when you know enough that this is the experience you want, that means you have enough clarity. That means you can put your attention and then pay attention to the detail of what you want. And so then you're able to then bring that into reality, your observation, attention. Rather than looking for people and places, things, you look for experiences through them. So if that can be done, the experience that you want, and if you have clarity of what experience you want, and if you can develop your understanding of it, so that you can imagine it, the more you learn about a place or a person or a thing, then the more you have clarity about what to seek there, and the more you start to seek that means you have the ability to put your attention on it. And more you develop your attention capability, then more you have clarity of what you want. And a third aspect is the more happy or the more positively you drive your energy signal towards that thing you want. It's called coherency. Then things seem to come into our life most naturally. This whole week we'll dedicate towards understanding the science of manifestation. Very, very important, because eventually all are looking for something or the other. And the science can help. These principles, these sutras can help in realizing that thing that we're looking for. And meditation is the basis. Meditation is a catalyst. It catalyzes experiencing that thing which is what we have seen. And no wish or no intention is any lesser than the other. Me wanting to have an experience of driving a car is no lesser than somebody wanting to know who they are. Nothing is lesser, nothing is higher. They're all wrong notions. There's a classic case of chakras. Okay, I have my chakra, third chakra is opening and sixth is open. They're all the same level. They're just experience of life. We brand. They're all the same. All experience are same. No, nothing higher, nothing lower. Each of us are going through different experiences. And you don't label experiences, then we've arrived in spirituality, our understanding of life, that good and bad are very relative, and so that I'm the one who's labeling it. But otherwise, they simply are there. No experience is lower or higher, and then no one need to hold their dream and desire back. Instead, they simply, with the process of meditation, align towards what is it that really give them happiness. That's what is there. Any experience is fine, but what is that gives me happiness? Meditation helps us to understand what is that I should seek. I'm at crossroads, don't know what to do, then meditate. When you're confused about too many things are there, what to do, meditate. And I've been working on things but not happening for me, meditate. Maybe you're going after the wrong thing. And so it's taking time because your heart is not there in it. So in many ways, meditation helps to catalyze or bring clarity into what we want to experience. But whatever that we wish to have can fundamentally be accessed. There is supporting enough scientific evidence of it to supporting it. But the baseline is our thoughts and feelings create a reality. Yad bhavam tad bhavati. Observation manifests possibility. So we'll explore this science this week, dear friends. Let's go into meditation. Before that, relax yourself, sit comfortably. We are practicing breath mindfulness meditation. Our goal is to empty the mind and be in the state of emptiness. We do that by, as you see in the picture, sit down on the floor in the chair, fingers into fingers, hands in your lap, comfortably rested, crossing your feet at ankle and closing your eyes and observing your breath, your in-breath and out-breath, anywhere in the nose. Observe the breath and slowly you'll be placed into emptiness. You automatically go into empty states of mind. Your thoughts are lesser and lesser. Mind is going into an emptier and emptier states. In case you're wearing spectacles, remove them. And so simply close your eyes and observe the breath anywhere in the nose as a reference point, and observe your breath going in and coming out at that point. And observe the breath, your natural breath, without manipulating your breath. Just natural breath, observe it. Mind is becoming empty and be in that state. In that empty state, whatever that happens that time, maybe some movement, sensation, witness it, observe it. In case at any given time, you're thinking, you have thought, and which is going to happen many times. When thoughts are there, bring your attention back to the breath. And again, observe. Again, slowly go into empty states. It's called breath mindfulness meditation. This is where we're going to spend maximum time. And then prior to doing that, we do a process called heart elevation. Just follow my guidance, but dear friends. We do it for a few minutes, like a warm-up. And then we're going to breath mindfulness meditation. Relax yourself, sit comfortably, relax your body, dear friends. Your eyes closed. Dear friends, dear masters, with your eyes closed, specs removed, your hands over your chest area, and with your attention on your sacred heart, can you feel a beautiful heart? Feel the seed of all emotions, which is nurturing all life. With its energies of love, gratitude, compassion, recollect an experience from your past, from your present, where you felt enormous love, compassion, gratitude. Relive that moment and feel that emotion. Relive that moment and feel that energy. The more you experience this energy of love, compassion, the more coherent you become with all things and everybody. Feel it. And you intend to send that energy to everybody, to everything on this planet Earth, to help them elevate to their greater version, to help them heal. To heal our planet. Where your attention goes, there the energy flows. Feel. And slowly, let's go into breath mindfulness meditation. with your fingers into fingers. Become aware. Of the emptiness inside of you, all around you, as you merge into your breath. We are less matter, more emptiness and energy. As our mind is becoming empty, we experience emptiness where there's no body, where there's no thing. Become aware of it. That's energy. The quantum field of energy a field of infinite possibilities. the longer you stay aware of this emptiness, that field of energy, the more you tune in to the possibilities, the more you draw those experiences into your physicality. Allow yourself to stay connected into this emptiness, the field. Allow yourself to merge into the emptiness of yourself, your divine self. friends. At this time, let's express gratitude. Gratitude to all things and everybody. Your gratitude to your parents, teachers, mentors, family, friends, colleagues, relatives, everybody. Be grateful to this grand nature, the bird, the fish, and the animals. Gratitude to everything used, the technology, the system, the government, the companies. Gratitude to yourself and to this intelligent universe. Gratitude is the ultimate state of receivership. Relax your body. And recollect your experiences from this session. How did you feel? What did you see? And whenever you're ready, you can keep your hands on your eyes for 5 seconds. And then you open your eyes. Okay, dear friends. Hope you enjoy the session. Today, talk about an important concept of little bit scientific. How our intention, our imagination, or our thought, which are all energy, becoming matter. Try to explore to see how much science support is there for it. Okay, this is so fundamental. The principle, I said, the foundation for manifestation, a foundation for anything that is being experienced is our thought. So thoughts direct energy, our thoughts direct the signal to send a signal to have this energy become matter. The understanding is that there are so many experiences we're drawing in our life, they cannot be random. And we know that at some level, if we put our attention, if we put our focus, and whatever that we want to have, we work towards it, it happens. That much we know. Whatever we want to have experience in our life, we work towards it, it happens. Sometimes it happens many a times for different individuals, depending on what their experience is. Many a times it won't happen also. But there seems to be a science, and the spiritual science always is telling. Now, modern science is helping to understand this phenomena of how experiences come into physicality, and the underlying principle is our thought. Yadbhavam tadbhavati. The Secret movie, the Secret book revolutionized this concept. Well, of course, this has been there always in spiritual circles, that your thoughts create reality, your intentions create reality. Law of attraction is there by Issa Hicks. Seth, of course, the Seth material is all about if you develop a great mind, sound mind, then you are, of course, developing great experience of life. The Secret movie came, and I talked about this in a way that captures our attention. Just sort of imagine with any unwavering mind or no doubt, and then so things do happen, things come to you. That's what they call secret. That many leaders, knowingly or unknowingly, were doing it, and so they're always successful. The reason they're successful in most cases because they always are staying on top of their goals and dreams, no matter what the current situation is. The current situation seems very difficult to go through. There are too many challenges. You want to grow a business, but right now there is hardly any money coming into the company. They kept putting their dream there, thinking that this current challenge will always pass through. So they had some kind of an ability to ride through the challenge while putting their focus on the goal. It's called focusing on what we want as opposed to focusing on what we don't want, which is a current challenge or a problem that are happening. The things that don't seem to work the way you want it. So let's understand this. So from that, it's derived that what you think, what you dream, what you imagine is what you become. Walt Disney said, if you can dream it, you can hold it. Business language, if you can see it, you can create it. If you can see means if you can have in your vision, in your mind as a vision. Leaders are talking of vision, because if we have a vision, then you can go and then get there. So what is a vision? It's a thought. A vision extended is imagination of where you're going to be. And so how far science is supporting it? Let's look at this a little bit. When I came across these concepts in 2014, I was quite excited that, okay, there is a scientific evidence demonstrating that our thoughts create reality. Of course, it is still being doubted in many ways. But at least some experimentation show that if you are observing something, if you are staying focused on something, that seemed to come true. And so when I heard this, I was quite excited about the practice that I'm doing, that meditation practice, where I've been hearing always in the halls that thoughts create reality. So what is the scientific support for it? And so this session today will understand a bit of it. And this is the basis for manifestation science. So if we understand this, then we can increase our belief in thoughts create reality a little more. And then tomorrow onwards, we introduce the principles of manifestation of what are things we can do to put always our attention towards things that we want, as opposed to moving our attention away onto the challenges, the problems, and why things are not happening. Once we understand and increase our belief in this principle that thoughts create reality, which is so fundamental, and so then we will also learn all the ways for the rest of the week of what are things that we are getting our attention distracted into other things than what we want, onto the problems, onto the limitations, onto the challenges. So we understand all those principles from tomorrow. So let me put up this chart. I've been referring to the quantum field, the field of intelligence, the field of possibilities all throughout so far in the last 2 weeks in our meditations. And so we understand a bit of that too here. Meditation is increasing manifestation quotient. So meditation is fundamental in understanding and in actually utilizing these principles greatly. So let's, the foundation principle of manifestation science is thoughts and feelings create our outer reality. This is the basis. And we explain it, we understand it. That's the basis for all. Neil Bohr. Whatever we think is real is not made of things that are real. Essentially, for quantum physics, when they look deep into the subatomic particle level, they don't find anything. They find empty space, emptiness. The quantum field is referred to as everything that exists in this entire multiverse. All that the whole, what we call the universe, multiverse, all that is called quantum energy field. Now, what a quantum physicist like Neil Bohr is saying, that when we say this laptop is real, he's saying, you may be saying it's real hard stuff, but if I go inside, he's saying that it is not really made up of any real substance. What is a real substance? Something that you can touch and feel. He's saying there is nothing, none of it is made up of any real substance. It's made up of something which is invisible. I'll skip this. So there are 3 principles. Quantum physics has many principles. We understand this. One, everything out there is comprised of very less matter. It's all really energy, more energy. And there are infinite possibilities for everything that exists in the way it can show up. Means if we are there, we have unlimited possibility and we have so much potential in us. And observation manifests possibility. When you observe, when you put your attention on something, that seems to bring a possibility into reality. First of all, it is saying that now everything I want to apply that to we as individual, we are less matter. So even though we think we are gross material, they're saying that we are actually a lot more energy. Second, in that as energy, we have any number of potentials or possibilities to experience. Our observation, can experience that potential or possibility? Our observation, our attention onto it. So the quantum field of energy or the possibilities, let's understand this a little bit. What you see here in this picture is an atom on the left side and a wave on the right side here. This is all wave. And this is an atom. And so an atom, which is the smallest particle, I mean, smallest thing in any matter. And then, of course, there are subatomic particles inside that too. But the way you understand atom means hydrogen, oxygen, mercury, they're all atoms, elements. So if you see this atom, and we read this a little bit of physics. So the atom contains centrally there is a nucleus, and then you have electrons orbiting the atom. Electrons are going around, like around the sun, the planets go, like that you have a nucleus, like the central part, you can say sun. And then you have electrons orbiting, like the planets. And so this here, you have, say, 3 orbits, means there are 3 electrons. So now if I draw an imaginary line around this whole atom and this whole circle, and if I ask you, what is the percentage of this atom that is actual matter? And then how much of space is empty there? And you draw a circle here, big circle. And so how much of the space is empty, and then how much is actually occupied by matter? Now, what is matter in an atom? What we learned as physics in our childhood, the central nucleus is matter. The nucleus, which contains proton and neutrons, we said that has got some weight, matter. And the orbits that are going around, there's an electron there. That's an energy field, but electron is there. That also has got a tiny matter. So you've got tiny matter of, there's electrons here one somewhere, here one somewhere. And then there's central portion has got matter, but rest of the whole circle is empty. So you say a lot of it is empty. So the matter, when an electron is there, it's like a particle, it's got a shape. We all say every matter has got a shape, and a ball has a shape. My spectacles have a shape. That's all matter. So we identified with physical space where it occupies. It has a shape, it has boundaries. On the other hand, a wave has energy, wave is invisible energy. It is there when your radio waves, your TV waves, gamma waves, ultrasound waves, they're all are there as energy. They're invisible, but they're there as frequency, they're traveling. They don't have a shape. They change to any shape. As energy change to any shape. As matter, you got some fixed shapes. So far, so good. So what did quantum physics find? So deep inside, everything is made up of subatomic particles, which is, in our body, if you take, our body is broken up into many organs. Organs are broken up into cells, like, you have liver, you have heart, then you have heart cells, liver cells, skin cells. Cells are broken up further into molecules. It's got chemicals inside, like, hydrogen, the hydrochloride acid, salt is there, or water is there. They're all called molecules. Water, H2O, is molecule. And the molecule further is broken up into atoms. So our body is full of atoms because the body is full of molecules, full of chemicals. And chemicals comprise a cell. Body is full of cells. Billions of cells doing trillions of operations. And so cells means there are organs, and organs means body. So we are essentially many, many atoms. But now what is interesting is that atom is practically empty. That's what the quantum physics found. 99.999% empty. So if it's empty, if atom is empty, and then a body is made up of trillions of atoms, and if all of them are empty, you say the net body is empty. So whatever we're experiencing as material, physical reality, it's all in reality. That's why quantum physics, Neil Bohr said, what you see as real is not really made up of real, because it's all empty inside. Every time they went deep into this at a micro level, they find only empty space. There's nothing they find anywhere. They don't find hard stuff. So 99.99% is all empty, and then emptiness is filled with energy. That's what they find. It's all energy. Energy means it's wave like the right side. It's all wave. The first discovery they made is that this whole universe or the multiverse, everything is empty. If humans are empty, the particles are and all the material things that we find are empty inside. Places are empty. Because when you go deep inside, it's all empty. So everything is, entire universe is empty. That emptiness is filled with energy. It's all there as energy. So energy is, so what you call it is a big field of energy waves everywhere. Now call it interconnectedness. Why is it interconnected? It's interconnected because if you see, energy is going, it's freely traveling. Right? Energy is traveling everywhere. And so if I am energy and you are energy and everybody is energy and everything is energy, and that energy is traveling, it's going from one place to another, it's all expanding. I mean, it's all traveling, it's going, spreading out. So as it spreads out, my energy and your energy connect. If you take two waves in a pond, you drop two stones and then waves come. So what happens? The wave is energy, right? The wave. Then what happens? The water wave, it's slowly spreading. From the two stones you dropped, the two waves come, they travel, and then finally what do? They intersect, they connect. There's some way they interact with each other, collide with each other, and they become a new wave. The original wave pattern is gone, suddenly you see a new wave, but they become one, they're connected. Once they are connected, now is it possible to separate them? I cannot separate them because they just form into new form. Think of the same, that we are all our energy. I am an energy field because I'm all emptiness filled with energy. This is quantum field discovery. And you are energy. And if the energy is all spreading and spreading out in all directions, and so it is connecting with everybody's energy, and so they're all combined and then become into a new, it's all kind of become one single big energy field. Another example you understand is your light bulbs in a house, in a hall. Individually, they have their own energy. But when you put them together, they all become one big source of light. You cannot separate it. You know it. You can put a red light and a green light and a yellow light and a blue light. All of them become into a new color that happens there, but it's all become one source of light. Cannot be separated. So the first principle, dear friends, the property of quantum field is that number one, we are empty. We're all energy inside. We're all energy. And that energy is what? Now it's all connected to each other. So we become one single big energy field. Adi Shankaracharya long ago discovered and said, we're all that thing, everything that exists. Everything that exists is that which is what we are. It's called Brahman. We are that because we're all simply connected. He said the God is there, or the Brahman is there, but then we're also there. We're all part of it. We're all inside. We're not separate. We're all part of it. Everything is there because I am the energy, you are the energy field, and everyone is together coming together into a bigger energy field. That's all it is. So number one, we all are very connected in a big, large field. Now, number two, the principle that we understand is that what they found in this energy field, everything is empty, but these electrons and neutrons are matter. But what they found, these electrons and neutrons, even though they matter, but they actually are by default energy. That's what quantum physics found. By default, they behave like energy. Only when something is observing, it becomes matter, but otherwise they notice that electron, what you thought particle, is actually by default energy. So what you have here, and I will understand to see in the next slide as an experiment, everything is energy. We all are connected to each other, one single big field. That's first principle. The second principle is this energy field has got many, many possibilities. So if I have many of these electrons all together as by default energy, I have trillions of electrons, we have trillions of electrons, everybody has that, and all of them are by default as energy. They all are there in this field as energy. And you can take any combination of them, and how many combinations you can take of them, and then the infinite combinations you can take, or infinite possibilities. And then all of them can, if there is something that can bring them into material, so that we can see and touch and feel, then you have infinite combinations going from an infinite field of energy fields of everybody. So then the second principle is said there are infinite possibilities of all the electrons and neutrons that are there as energy by default, interconnected at trillions and trillions and trillions of interconnect are there. And then you take any combination of them, and then they all can be somehow be made into matter to see. Then you have one experience happening, because ultimately our experience is nothing but our experience is nothing but some of these electrons showing up physically. And so there is, everything is big energy field. Second is that there are infinite possibilities that are there in the field, things that can become physical, because everything is energy. So now, how did this electron, what is that experimentation that's showing that whatever we thought is everything is a particle, like electron and neutron, that's what is giving matter this thing, shape. Because we thought they already existed as particles. But then in reality, they're not existing as particles, they're existing as energy. And then energy is becoming matter through some thing called observation. So let's look at this short video to understand this concept of what scientists, quantum physicists discovered, that electrons are really not particles, they're energy.
And here we are, the granddaddy of all quantum weirdness, the infamous double slit experiment. To understand this experiment, we first need to see how particles, or little balls of matter, act. If we randomly shoot a small object, say a marble, at the screen, we see a pattern on the back wall where they went through the slit and hit. Now, if we add a second slit, we would expect to see a second band duplicated to the right. Now, let's look at waves. The waves hit the slit and radiate out, striking the back wall with the most intensity directly in line with the slit. The line of brightness on the back screen shows that intensity. This is similar to the line the marbles make. But when we add the second slit, something different happens. If the top of one wave meets the bottom of another wave, they cancel each other out. So now there is an interference pattern on the back wall. Places where the two tops meet are the highest intensity, the bright lines, and where they cancel, there is nothing. So, when we throw things, that is, matter, through two slits, we get this, two bands of hits. And with waves, we get an interference pattern of many bands. Good so far. Now, let's go quantum. An electron is a tiny, tiny bit of matter, like a tiny marble. Let's fire a stream through one slit. It behaves just like the marble, a single band. So, if we shoot these tiny bits through two slits, we should get, like the marbles, two bands. What? An interference pattern. We fired electrons, tiny bits of matter through. But we get a pattern like waves, not like little marbles. How? How could pieces of matter create an interference pattern like a wave? It doesn't make sense. But physicists are clever. They thought, maybe those little balls are bouncing off each other and creating that pattern. So they decide to shoot electrons through one at a time. There is no way they could interfere with each other. But after an hour of this, the same interference pattern is seen to emerge. The conclusion is inescapable. The single electron leaves as a particle, becomes a wave of potentials, goes through both slits, and interferes with itself to hit the wall like a particle. But mathematically, it's even stranger. It goes through both slits, and it goes through neither. And it goes through just one, and it goes through just the other. All of these possibilities are in superposition with each other. But physicists were completely baffled by this. So they decided to peek and see which slit it actually goes through. They put a measuring device by one slit to see which one it went through and let it fly. But the quantum world is far more mysterious than they could have imagined. When they observed, the electron went back to behaving like a little marble. It produced a pattern of two bands, not an interference pattern of many. The very act of measuring or observing which slit it went through meant it only went through one, not both. The electron decided to act differently, as though it was aware it was being watched. And it was here that physicists stepped forever into the strange, never-world of quantum events. What is matter? Marbles or waves? And waves of what? And what does an observer have to do with any of this? The observer collapsed the wave function simply by observing.
Dear friends, what this experiment is saying, it's by, first of all, I want to acknowledge Fred Alan Wolf, quantum physicist, who got this brilliant video to simplify this concept. And still it's not simple enough to understand. So we go back and then listen to this and read up a little bit on double slit experimentation. We come to a little bit of better understanding, and then you watch a few times, you'll get to know. But what it is saying is that if you take waves, and then waves, you take waves in a pond, two waves, two stones are dropped, and so then they interfere each other, and then as they go and then hit, let's take a well, and then as the waves, if you drop two stones, and then two waves are generated, as the waves come together and then go, and then when they hit, they interfere with each other, and so then what they're saying is, as the wave goes towards this periphery of the well, somewhere it'll hit hard in a big way, and then another point it hit in a smaller way, smaller way, smaller way. It's called the top of the wave, and then bottom of the wave. So the two waves combine, and so where they get combined maximum amplitude, so there it hit little strongly the edge, and another place it hits little weaker. So by default, if the waves are there, that means you have multiple bands. They observed that stronger hit in the screen is a band, a stronger band and a weaker band. So when waves come together, then they form bands, multiple bands. If it is two particles, they're being sent through the slit, then just form two bands. You expect two bands to be formed, but it formed multiple bands. And so they conclude that how can multiple bands be formed unless what is going there is only a wave? Only if it is a wave, then it can form multiple bands. So that's what they've concluded. The electron by default is a wave, not particle. That means whatever that we think we are really are just energy by default. And this electron, when they put an observer, that they put a observer to say, okay, where is it going? So they put counters to say, is it going through left slit or right slit? When they put an observer, and every time it went through left slit, they put a counter saying counter goes up. And then observer is trying to watch and see which side it's going. But the moment they started watching it, and saying now it goes through left slit as a particle, it goes that side as it's watching. And so then it changed its behavior, and then it behaved as if it's a particle, it's a vent like the original. When they shot a particle through a single slit, it went as a single band. So it formed a single band. So that's the thing that happened. When there's no observer, it was going multiple bands. When there's an observer, then two slits, two bands as a particle. So the behavior changed. So when observed, a subatomic particle becomes matter. Now, no one knows why it happens, but all they know is that when you put your attention, observation on it, and then it becomes, the energy became matter, electron became matter. If one electron can become matter, and then if you can observe, a million electrons together, and a million protons together, they have become matter to show up. Now, what is matter showing up is an experience, because an experience is what? An experience is nothing but a set of electrons. An experience is nothing but people, places, things. If we are talking of an experience today here, we all are here watching this video. So the laptop that from where I'm projecting is there, and you're seeing this screen image, and then you are there, and then many and the 200 plus people are there. And then all came together here with an intention that I want to attend the session. I had an intention that I want to hold the session. And so we all came here with a common intention that we experience something today. So we came in. And so we experiencing commonly. So an experience is where you are there, people are there, places are there, different places from where we're all coming. And then the things are there, like this laptop screens and all that are working for us. And so an experience is nothing but collapse of electrons that comprise of people, places, things into matter. So if one electron can be observed and then becomes matter, and so then you can say millions of electrons or trillions of electrons around this, in this quantum field, can be observed to become matter. I've observed and said, okay, today's session is going to be there. I'm going to log in. Many people are still going to be logging in. And then we're going to talk about this quantum field of energy concept. And so then I got my laptop. So now all of them, when you observe them, and then automatically they are there. If I didn't think about it, it's not there. When I thought about laptops, I go and then look for wherever it is. But then you thought about this session, so you came in. The point is that you put your attention on it. You put your attention sufficiently, then you come in. Some people did not put adequate attention. They put their attention on Diwali, post-Diwali celebration, maybe. And so they are there somewhere. They're not attention here, so they experience something else, not this session today. If you put sufficient attention onto it, then you're able to do it. Some people want to do it, but then someone said in the family, hey, come on, yeah, don't give up today. It's okay, you can skip session. But you had, no, I have to go for this session. So you put your stronger attention, so you came here, winning over the other thing, that attention was pulling you somewhere else. So the point, dear friends, is that when you place your attention onto what you want to experience, that experience is there where it's in your memory, it's in your mind. I would like to go for this session. Oh, these sessions are good. So I came here. Right, so there is an imagination of giving an attribute to it. So if a single electron can be observed to become matter, then you can take trillions of electrons together and observe them to become matter. Trillions of electrons are nothing but an experience that you want to have, because that comprises of everybody's electrons that are going to be part of your experience, right? Electrons and neutrons. So observation creates possibilities is what we infer from this double-slit experimentation of quantum physics. So then every physical event or experience is an appearance of a pattern of subatomic particles. That's a mouthful. We got to just read this and mull over it, contemplate this sentence. Every physical event is an appearance of a pattern of subatomic particles. Subatomic particles means electrons and neutrons. They all are influenced by somebody's observation. We are the ones observer. The observer is saying, I wish to experience a car. I wish to experience a long distance travel. So then you are observing about that thought, you're talking about it to people. That means you are thinking about again. And then you are now an experience of travel by car around. Then you're also putting a little bit, go to the next level and saying, oh, as I'm traveling, I'm going to go to this temple. I'm going to go to that park, and then I'm going to go there and visit. So now you are solidifying your experience with more things. Yeah, that means you have more clarity of what you want. because you're not only saying, I want to travel, but you're saying, I'm going to go to this temple, I'm going to go to this park. And the next thing you're going to say is, oh, last time my friends told me there is some beautiful viewpoint. I'm going to go there and then watch this viewpoint because I saw the pictures. It looks tremendously beautiful. That boom, that image comes to your mind and say, that viewpoint I would like to watch, which got some beautiful gradient sunset. So now that is there in your mind and you're projecting it as a viewpoint, an experience that you want to have. So that means you have a little more clarity. So now all of it is sort of, you are already visualizing or you're thinking about an experience that you want to have. That means you're bringing those, you're putting your attention onto that energy particles of that place or the things that you want to experience. And so then at some point, because everything is an infinite combination in that field of energy that can be brought into physicality, it's literally we are creating an experience. From energy field, we create an experience that we want. How many ways? Infinite ways. So, dear friends, what this experimentation is essentially saying is that by default, and quantum physics principles are saying that by default, it's all energy and emptiness. We are observed by something out there. Some intelligence is observed, so we are here. And then now we are observing many things in our life so that we attract them. This is a great theory to construct, to experiment. Now you experiment with it. Now there may be contradiction, there may be people saying, no, how is this possible? That's possible. And then of course, there are all kinds of points of view are there. But then we look at a theory and then experiment on it to see if it works for me. And it seemed to work. And if you change your thought, then you seem to attract things. If you stop thinking negative, you stop creating a negative experience. So you start attracting what is innately yours, what you fundamentally wish for, having a joyful experience, because that's our true nature. And so meditation helps us to stop thinking negative. Meditation increases our focus towards what we want. Both are there. And so the negative issues start disappearing, and then positive experience start coming in. And the more we understand the signs, the more we start thinking and dreaming about things we want, is more clarity. And so the more we draw them into our life. So the focused mind, we can manifest matter and create life experiences. Meditation develops a great focused mind. Meditation removes a lot of negative distractions. So then it is meditation expanding your mind capabilities to visualize more. Meditation gives you a lot more clarity of what exactly you want. And so then you're able to visualize things that are going to give you a lot of happiness. So in many ways, it is a basis to create a better life. The reason why people, when they come into meditation and say, hey, my life is good, because they, for a moment, they drop the negative thoughts. So the negative experience stop coming in most cases. And they develop the ability to accept. So even though some negative experience comes, they stop judging, and so then they're accepting. And they develop further ability to gain clarity to experience and visualize. So that's why when people come into meditation, then they start having a better experience, because thought change, our mindset change, so our experience also change. All right, friends. So we stop here for today to understand this important subject, the thoughts create reality. I really encourage you to go in and then read those fundamental books that were science books, Mind to Matter, You Are the Placebo, Bruce Lipton's Biology of Belief, and now this book called Mind Over Medicine. Read all these books, and then I think read all those books to further, if you are science students, further understand this more, because they explain in a lot more detail what I talked about. Because once that is understood, then we don't doubt this process anymore, and then we go towards creating. We go towards eliminating what is giving us a negative thought, unwanted thought. We don't doubt this principle anymore. No matter what the current challenge is, we continue to hold on to what we want through a thought. Thank you, dear friends. Any announcements today? Maharshi garu? Are you? I thought you're the host. Any announcements?
Sir, I'm not the host, sir.
You're not the host. Okay, no problem. Who is the host then today, this week? Right.
Koteswara, sir.
No problem. Was Koti not there? I don't say it. Richa, you're saying something.
I was mentioning that I am the host for this week, sir.
All right. Please go ahead.
Yeah, so the announcement today is for the book club that we have on Mondays and Wednesdays. So today, the book that will be covered is You Are the Placebo at 8:15. That's the morning batch, and evening batch 8 p.m. IST. Morning session will be facilitated by Hari Ramakrishnan and Rajeshwari Muttam. And evening batch will be taken up by Sujata Sriram and Vidya Ramchan. We will post the Zoom link for the session. So please participate and get benefited and discuss on the book club, on the book that will be discussed. And also we will post the same, we'll post the information for the Wednesday as well.
Thank you. Thank you, Richa madam, doing this.
Thank you, sir.
Nice to see you on this. Okay, friends. So we have a few minutes. If anybody has questions, we'll take them. Otherwise, thank you for joining. Continue to celebrate Diwali, lights. Darkness to light. That's what we take this Diwali as, to move from darkness to light. We think we know, but many things that are there to know that we don't know. So that's what Diwali can represent, to move into the more light. Light is knowledge. Thank you all. Have wonderful Diwali days. Okay. Let's go and take. Oh, you're not been made co-host. Please make Richa madam co-host.
May I ask my question?
Yeah.
First of all, sincere gratitude for all the wonderful teaching you give. I keep churning on what you teach. The few questions I had was, it's a mixture of questions. First of all, I trust what you taught today, that quantum physics is reality and we have to experiment it for ourselves. But the question that bothers me is, I still have so many thoughts that my focus to my breath is pretty low. So getting to the quantum energy seems like a far step. The other doubt that keeps coming again and again is, maybe it was the conditioning that if I ask for something, if I'm trying to visualize something, it's as if I'm going against what is going to come, or I'm not willing to see what's going to unfold. So there is a lot of doubt in me, that story my mother used to tell about, I forget the exact name of the scripture, but, a couple was not having a child, and then they kept praying. Everybody told them, don't be happy with what you don't have. But they know they wanted it, and they had so many issues with their child, this and that. So I was taught since childhood that, no, you shouldn't wish for anything, just wish that you can best serve in this human life. So can you expand a little bit on that, sir?
Yes.
Thank
you. There are various reasons why, of course, our mind is distracted. So the more practice, and the more you change your environment to be with the right people, right set of things, then you are intensifying your practice of reading and listening, and then internalizing the knowledge you gain. And then with more meditation, you will get into the right thought, less of the chatter. It's good. It's going to take its own time. All right. It's going to take its own time. but we continue to practice it. It's all contextual. Different individuals, different evolution, and so the different states we are in. But for everybody, it's we do know that it will slow down. The brain will slow down from that unwanted thought is disappearing over a period of time. Okay, but it is known. A regular sincere practitioner at the end of 20 years, I've used 20 years figuratively so that we know where we have to go. All right. Manifestation will continue to happen from now. Things will happen. They improve significantly because we're already changing a lot of our thought. A lot of negativity is dropped. And so negative experience don't show up. And so then we start being more positive. And the more positive, we were more coherence. And the more coherence, whatever you think will start happening. So that will happen. But these random thoughts, distractions will occur. But continue to practice. And I say a significant part of it is changing your environment and circle. That's so important. We don't hold on to the old circle thinking it's going to be bad to leave this or that. It's not bad. If a whole friend circle, the only thing they're doing is talking about politics, talking about this and that, and every Friday you meet because you didn't want to break that thing that every Saturday we are meeting. And some people say, oh, every Saturday I have to go. Even after meditating, understanding, they still go and then pollute their minds and come back. What to do? Right? We got to make our active conscious steps to break things that no longer serve us. We have to make an active attempt that no longer serves us. We can't, otherwise we're just simply attached. We are just listening something and going back and doing what we want to do because we're not even ready to make the change. But it's called consciousness evolution. Because why are we not making change? We think it's they feel bad. Oh, I've always been there with them, so they feel bad if I don't go. But what they're not recognizing is they're polluting themselves, and so then they are they're countering what they're putting an effort, 2 steps forward, they're going, and then somebody's pulling them 1 step backward. So they're not realizing it. But they're okay. So, but this requires you have to make a conscious attempt to change the environment. If somebody feels bad, where is it? Who is feeling bad? Who is creating that bad feeling? Somebody feels bad that you're no longer joining them. Where is that? It is in the mind for them. They're simply attached to an experience. They're holding on to it. So it is you're not causing anything to them. It is they. You cannot meet anybody's expectation forever. And so it is they who are causing it to themselves. So you have a great way to tell them now and say, hey, you meditate. And so you stop thinking that way too. Meditation helps you to detach. So you have a way to tell that it's in your mind. And so meditate and then you change your thought and then their experience will change. So people create their experience for themselves. We don't cause it. We have to recognize that we have to come to that understanding first. And then we are ready to change our circular environment. We're ready to let go of things that don't serve us. We're able to do easily with the places, but we're not able to do that easily with the people. That's the problem. In the places, for example, the place where I'm in was flooding and flooding and flooding. And so then some people gave up living in this place. They said, I'm going to move away from this. They're able to do it. And that also is difficult for a lot of people to change the place. Because, oh, this is my thing. I've lived up here. But that's an attachment. So we limit our experience. But places we change, but people we can't change many times. But we have to make that attempt, number one. So then our thoughts will rapidly change. Our distractions and all of that will rapidly change. And the people that are surrounded with are those who are meditating, those who are constantly in this thought. So obviously we also moved into that side to read more, to listen more, to become impeccable with the words more. Okay. The second part of it, what you're saying, creation. Should I be asking for things? So that's where I use the word clarity. Now, there's a level of consciousness we get to understand this principle that we are co-creator. We are creating constantly. We are not just simply what do you call? And not getting the word. We're not just,
a puppet.
Yeah,
a puppet in the hand of God.
Maybe puppet, yeah, in the hand of something that we're simply here to follow. If we understand Aham Brahmasmi, I am the whole field, so then we play a role. So we get to a co-creator role where we create things. Now, it's not, the initial video said we're not a reckless creator, we are a conscious creator. So the question is, what is right for me? Should I be, because everybody is telling that I must have a baby, should I just go after madly visualizing I want to get a baby? Or should I really even look into it and say, is it even part of my plan? Will I have the energy, the interest, the sustenance to even carry a baby? Is that even part of my plan? Am I pushing myself to actually have something? Do we have enough clarity, number one? And what is the consequence of me creating something? What is the consequence? We need to understand the consequence. Okay. So the consequences are there in manifestation when we are, that's what is the recklessness versus consciousness. So if you have clarity, and the clarity will develop when we meditate, slowly it develops the clarity towards you, moving you towards things that you really want to experience in this life. So that's what moves you towards. Okay. And so you gain that ability to know what is that gives me more happiness, more joy. And so then you start creating those. Okay. But one can create anything, no problem. As a co-creator, that's the whole Seth wisdom. You can go about creating anything as long as you don't regret for creation. You have to develop that consciousness. You have to develop the consciousness, you don't regret for any creation. If a child come born with some disability, so what? It's another experience. You're not the one who creating really. Then another entity is coming with its wanting to have its own experience. And so then you're not creating the child that way. The child is created for somebody who wants to experience coming in an environment. So that's a level of consciousness, understand it. So but if you don't regret and then create, fine. But it's not possible for a person who's meditating. They don't regret. They cannot stop regretting, or no, unless you always want a constructive creation. So when you meditate, you do constructive creation. If you're able to bear consequences, you can go on creating, because ultimately there's no good and bad or right and wrong experience. They're all experiences, right? So the point is, I wanted to say this. We become a co-creator when we have a lot of clarity. We go about visualizing and dreaming, put all the things possible to go and then experience things that we want the way we want it. And it's just fine. This is our creation. A toy designer in a company called Mattel, for example, is creating a newer toy. And they have ideas they want to put into it, they put into it. Think of it, that's a creation. Now, you can go on expanding to have more people, more animals, more trees into it, and then create a more beautiful forest toy, right? You experience the way you want it. Nothing wrong, it's an experience, right? You do it constructively, it's great. So the only principle is you create without impacting, without disabling somebody else from interfering into somebody else's experience. That's the only thing that we got to see. Minimize interference to somebody else's life and experience. As long as that's met, you can continue to create and have an experience that you want, and you're fine. All right. And so the more clarity you have, the less you're worried about creating unwanted consequences. Okay. And by fundamentally, we are thriving to create, because we are a co-creator. Fundamentally, deep inside, we are the same creator. We are co-creators. So we want to always experience new. Rather than simply taking on what comes, we want to experience new. So we definitely can go about creating things. And that's really being part of this creation, to expand the creation. Because we are consciousness, we are exploring consciousness through us. And so consciousness is exploring its life through us. So we need to become co-creators to create it. Default is there, deliberate, both creations are there. We'll understand it as we go along in this week. Okay.
So the clarity I got from you basically right now was, unknowingly, I stifled myself. I choked myself because I couldn't create good wishes for myself. I couldn't see myself being healthy and, succeeding. Of course, I see that a lot of negative thoughts I had, which have created the reality of sickness and difficulty in relationships. So the more I can meditate regularly, and the more I accept that as a co-creator, I can be a wise creator. I'll be okay, right?
It'll be okay. So here's the thing, the challenge many people have is they want help. They don't know what they're going to do with the help. They're looking for help. Let's say you don't look for help, look for doing something meaningful in life. And then automatically health will come. We are so fixated and said, hey, my body is not supporting, I can't even go, so I can't even think of doing something. First, think of doing something. What is the doing something aligned to the purpose? What does it feel to you? If there are people around you, as let's say, teaching meditation, does it feel like you want to do it? And if it feels so, then go and then visualize and then start thinking, set intention that I want to do that too. Don't get bogged down by what my health condition or financial condition is today. Instead, dream about what you want to put an intention for that. Now, what is that thing? That is what meditation gives us more clarity about what is that I want to experience. What should I go and then do this non-profit work? Should I go and start my business? Should I go just take a break and then simply spend time for myself? What is that? That feeling is driven. So whatever that feels to you more, meditation increases feelings. We call clarity, right? For example, as you meditate, suddenly 5 people who are singing music will keep coming into your life. Somebody saying there's a music concert, there's a music teacher, this and that. You may be having always wanting to practice music, but you keep putting it off for various reasons. But now that is coming to you in front of you. And so now you take up that action and say, I'm going to start practicing music for myself, all right? Because you always wanted, you don't do, so you do it. Now you look for intent to do music. Now, of course, it requires you to have some better health for various kind, and then that starts coming, all right? So rather than wanting something which we don't know what to use it for, look for experiences that you really wanted always. And then that requires health, it'll come. That requires money, it'll come. That requires people, they'll come and automatically show up in your life to support you, right? Things will come like that. So we go after experiences that we truly want to have and which is represented by our feelings, all right? That's what we want to do. Or rather, the other way to look at it is if you want help, ask yourself, I'm living my life today in some way. Why do you want something more? Even the health. What new experience is going to give me? Think of that. It's fine. And if that new experience is going to give me, and if you have enough interest, don't do it for the sake of doing. If you're really passionate, your interest, the new experience you want is you want to be able to freely, independently go to place and come because you wanted your independence, right? Now you go to places and do something, they try to do something constructive, meaningful. You want to go happy by looking at Niagara Falls, spend there, meditate. You do that independently because sometimes people don't like dependency because the health is not support, they want to be dependent. So I'm going independently and then I'm doing these things, visualize it. And so it can support you at that point a new experience you're seeking. And so your health will come because you as a creator wants to experience independence. So it will come to you. Okay.
Thank you so much for patiently explaining. Thank you.
Okay.
Sir, I had a question.
Okay.
So if say someone if someone says that you have to change, and that keeps coming back, that means is it that something I am like maybe neglecting it and not feeding that, or
When someone tells you have to change, first of all, you have to decide whether you want to change or is there something. They may tell, but what is it that you feel? Go with your feeling. Go with your feeling, but there are always so many things to change.
Yeah, I think I have to contemplate on that because I feel like I don't need to change myself in any way. I am good as how I am. But
so
that might.
This is how you measure yourself. If you're not irritated with situations, you're calm deep inside and peaceful deep inside, all right? Then you are okay in that situation. Nothing to change there. Situations are happening, but you're not irritated. you're not irritated, and then you're calm, and then things are happening for you. You see it as clearly where the issues are, and so then you're calm. When you're calm, only you can see. Or you see means you're calm. You're not hesitated about it. You have total acceptance of the situation. Then you have less to change there. You have nothing to change there. That's the measure. But if you're irritated with the situation, but you still say, I don't have anything to change, then you have something to change. You see, you know it. Okay. You have to accept it as that simple. And a mother must be able to accept a child no matter what the child doesn't say, okay, yeah, he's very young, he's going to do it. So I know it. Natural acceptance is there, nothing to change. So you're fine there. Okay. What are there?
Archana ma'am has raised hand.
Yes, sir. There is a...
Why are you not making Richa madam a co-host? Apparently, she is the host for today.
Actually, I rejoined, so I lost my co-host status.
Okay. Then you ask them. Yes, Archana madam.
Thank you for this session, sir. So, in continuation with Richa ma'am, I have some questions which got flashed up. Usually they say that when we don't like someone else's behavior or attitude, that is, it is in us. That's why we don't like them, is what I got to hear through some of the videos somewhere in the YouTube. Then I was questioning me, is it something which I don't like in others? Is it in me? Is it really true? Then the question was like, because we get irritated or by their actions because of the memories in the past or because of the situations they handle, we just get irritated. Most of the time we ignore other people, but specific people that will come every time, that keeps repeating. So is that something which we have to change it for true? This is a big question I have, because this often troubles me.
Why get irritated? For one, it is your creation. If we continue to see others as others separate from you, then all of this come, because then you are saying they're different from me, they're not part of me. Fundamental understanding is that the quantum energy field said we're all part of the field, we're all the same. We're so interconnected, not too different. We cannot separate us. So if you're irritated, sure enough, there is some non-acceptance of a situation, right? Of course, we're not accepting something that somebody something. So there is a part of us which is rejecting that behavior, okay? So first of all, recognize that yes, there is a learning there. Okay, there's learning there. That behavior we have to accept. Whatever that irritation is being caused to us, there is a learning that accept it. Now, the concept of mirrors, usually we may be causing this to somebody or somewhere, the same thing. Because we have inside, we don't like it. That quality that we see, we don't like it. And so we look deeply in it to say, am I causing this? If somebody is irritating you, saying, why are you always late? Am I causing this to somebody else somewhere? Asking the same or differently. Why are you doing this? Are you saying the same to your child? Maybe here your husband may be saying, or a colleague may be saying, you're doing the same thing to a child at home. Okay, thinking that I have the power and authority. No, I'm right, perfect. But we may be saying it. So we got to look at it from that perspective. A quality that we don't accept. We have it, it reflects the situation. So people come to us with a situation bringing out a quality that we have in us. So it is pointing to us. The universe is trying to bring up something that we don't like as a way for us to contemplate on. So the situations come, people come into our lives, bringing up that thing that if we have it inside, then suddenly it comes up, then we don't like because we have it inside and we don't accept it. Okay. So we probably are doing it somewhere. That's how we have to see. Check on that way. That am I causing it to others? Am I behaving like this in other situations? You overcome there, automatically then you accept there, then you'll accept here.
Okay, it is just the accepting, then probably it's rechecking on the things, and the probably this is somewhere related to the cause and the effect. Am I right, sir?
This is not cause and effect, I'm saying. I mean, this is for you to understand yourself more, to develop ultimately the spirituality is acceptance and then creation. You continue to create what you want, but then continue to accept what you get. Right?
Got it.
How do you get acceptance? When you elevate yourself to be more, embrace more and more everybody as you. Embrace more and more everybody as you, as we as a consciousness. The more we can embrace, that's the called oneness experience, oneness states. In meditation, we can continue to go into the oneness states. So the more and more you embrace everybody as you, then the less and less that you feel irritated or any of those will happen, right? Okay. So we don't have to put a cause and effect to this. Ultimately, so we have separated ourselves significantly with the Maya, the illusionary nature. The illusionary nature, we separated ourselves significantly. So here we're going back to that wholeness rather than separateness. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay. It's already 8:15. All right. So thank you, friends. I must go to the book clubs. See you all tomorrow. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. There's no sound.
I've let go of my past and celebrate who I've become. I am beautiful, I am powerful, and I celebrate who I am.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.